Good afternoon. I'm going to call the meeting to order. The Housing First Subcommittee meeting has now commenced. It's March 26th at 4 p.m. This meeting is being held virtually due to COVID-19 to allow for social distancing and protect the public health. As we continue our efforts in meeting remotely, we ask all commissioners and guests to mute yourselves until called upon to speak to avoid feedback and background noise. For those who have dialed in using the call-in number to unmute to speak, dial *6 on your phone. Also, prior to speaking, please announce who you are to identify yourself. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. We ask that you only use the chat function to request to speak or to announce that you are leaving the meeting so that we can track quorum. Also, to comply with the state open meeting law, attendance and votes will be done by way of roll call using audio, not by using the chat function. With that, Tisha Tallman, chair of the committee, I'm here. Mindy Bernstein is here. Wendy Asher.
Here.
And we're just missing Mark Clark today, but he still might join. But we do have quorum. The first item on the agenda is call to audience. Do we have anyone in the audience?
We have two people. I'm going to call on Victoria.
Okay.
Victoria, you should be able to speak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm struggling with housing again. Sorry, Tish, you don't have anything for me. I just called earlier. But the circumstances of housing, I think, need to be navigated, that you guys work with like Corporation of Supportive Housing or National Low Income Housing Movement and stuff, because it looks like people are, at this point, I'm forced to leave your state because the area has allowed the LLCs and the natural occurring housing to, can you hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Just making sure because this is new headphones. That I have to follow the Out of Reach project by National Low Income Housing to try to find an area that I can actually afford on my Social Security. So my rent went up $132, and that's just of like Ms. Honey Properties LLC by the Reagan Premier Properties of the Arizona Realtors. And so at that point, you know, I'm looking for natural occurring housing, but I'm not having a really good hunch of it. And I'm going to have to make another Excel sheet and list off everything on Google and everything on the public housing and the affordable housing. And that Excel sheet, do like vector marketing style calls. And that's where I'm at right now. So I'll have another product for you simply by nature of circumstance. And I'll let you know what I can find. But I might be at Casa Paloma at the end of next Sunday. And my husband might be out on the street with serious mental health issues, and you can't really help him because you can't give him a roof over his head or anything basic. So you can try, but indoctrinating him is not going to help, and putting him in a Christian place is not going to help. And so at this point, I just wanted to let you know that we can do better, and I'm going to keep showing up to meetings, and I'm going to have to stay here until I put a roof over my head to at least stabilize for at least 3 months or month to month, so that I can be sure that when I move, I might have to get rid of everything I own if I can't find somebody to help me move stuff into a cube for storage. So if you know anybody who has a truck, please let me know. That's literally, I don't want to have to put my leg out at the side of the street level. You know, I know nobody, I have no family, I have nothing going on. So just to let you know, I'm still working on things, and I'm still up for the YIMBY and up for everything else. I just am in the trenches, and this is another example of just how things work. So I'm participating as much as you need me to. I can create that product because I have to, and that's where I'm at.
Victoria, thank you for being present on this call today. I know you were at a convening earlier today as well. Let's hope you get into Casa Paloma this week, but you know, we also have, and I apologize, I don't mean this to be a call where I'm.
This is important, Tisha.
It is important, Mindy, thank you. So I just wanted to preface that. But we do also have rent and utility assistance, Victoria, in the interim. So could you please put your information, just put it to me in the chat function? Are you able to access the chat function?
Yeah, I can do that.
Why don't you do that, Victoria, and we'll get back to you. And, you know, of course, I can't speak on behalf of the city, although we're a commission that is working to bridge with the city. We can also pass that information along through Neto if there's some city resources also available. But you may be in, it sounds like you may be in one of our facilities by the end of the week, but we can do something for you in the interim. And I think rent and utility systems might be that answer. So,
Well, I don't need rent or utility assistance, but that could be like to try to get into anything that I could find. So I'm at the searching. This landlord is not willing to work with me, and I might have to report into fair housing, or at least show you that he's found a way to take my deposit and to put me out on the street just for asking for help from a mental health crisis. So yeah, I can't rent from this specific
Okay.
LLC anymore. Yeah.
okay. Can you please put your information in the chat, and I'll have someone get with you right away, Victoria.
Okay.
Thank you, Victoria. Any other comments with folks who are attending? We're open for audience comments.
There are no other hands up.
Okay. Okay, with that, we need to approve the March 5th, 2014 minutes.
And I apologize that I did not get to them.
Okay, so let's put that on hold until the next meeting. Is that okay with everybody on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll put that on the agenda for next time then, Neto. We also need to finalize our 2024 goals for the committee. And let me go ahead and put that link in the chat.
Do you need a screen share, Tisha?
Yeah, can you go ahead and screen share that for us? I just sent the link. I can do it if that would be easier. And thank you, Victoria. I do have your information.
Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and scroll to the Housing First Committee goals and such?
Will do.
I'm trying to print. Okay, here we go. Print.
Oops.
And then also Victoria, Wendy Asher, Commissioner, is also in this session. And she says if there's a legal issue at all, that she can assist with the referral on that. Okay, great. So during our last commission meeting, while the document was pulled up, I went ahead and added in some of those things that we discussed from our last meeting. And those were the three goals underneath Housing First goals stated: recommend policies from other Housing First programs in similar cities, recommend program and service models used by other cities' Housing First programs, recommend implementation ideas at the intersection of Housing First and the Prosperity Initiative. That was based on our last meeting's discussion. Are there any additional thoughts or any wordsmithing that we'd like to do? And if so, Neto would be making those for us on this call. And please note that Mark Clark is also involved in our meeting, so we have a full committee today.
I'm involved.
Mark, is there anything that you would like to add or suggest on those three recommendations? Wendy, Mindy?
I'm curious, and I guess we'll find out whether other cities use Housing First, which I think of as a name for a concept, as a program name, when we ask them what they're doing with Housing First. The other thing that I've sort of been struggling a little bit with is over time, as we spend, as we've been hearing about the Prosperity Initiative, which is figured prominently in the county's housing commission as well, is my concern that initiative, I don't have a sense that initiative really targets older people who are living already on fixed incomes, therefore, and are in some instances quite older, and not really in the position to benefit from employment assistance, and also a little bit concerned with that impact on people with physical disabilities who, again, may be housebound or otherwise not really able to significantly alter their income by altering their employment.
Okay, so I think at least, Neto, if we could change the Housing First programs to small h, small f, small p. Does that address your concerns with the, they may not have a Housing First program, but have Housing First type programs or models?
Peach, I'm sorry, what suggested changes should I make?
So in the first, second, and third bullet point,
Uh-huh.
if you could change the capital H, capital F, capital P in Housing First programs to small.
Got it.
In all Housing First.
Okay.
Is there any, based on what you also stated, Mark, is there anything else that you'd like us to add to the language?
You mean with regard to housing, the Prosperity Initiative?
Anything you stated.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where to go with that.
Okay, well, we can put in a pin in it and just let us know. Wendy and Mindy?
I am a little, I'm distracted right now. Really feeling a visceral reaction to Victoria's life situation as an example of what is happening here. So it's hard for me to look at. It's when I'm hearing about people with mental health disorders going to not have a place to live. All of it, I don't have anything to add other than I'm very much bothered by how much time we spend, how we have such a crisis going on and can stay calm and look at bullet points. I'm having trouble with that, Tisha. So I'm just going to mute myself for right now so I can re-regulate my emotions.
I understand, Mindy, and Victoria and Mindy. I have already texted your information to someone, and someone will be calling you soon. I know that doesn't address the larger issue, Mindy, Believe me, we're all working on this as hard and as urgently as we possibly can. It doesn't make it any easier. I know, I understand. Wendy?
I just want to say that I sympathize with what Mindy just said and heard clearly Victoria's concerns and her situation, and unfortunately hear it a lot. And I think part of why we have this subcommittee is to take those individual experiences and see what we can try to address systemically, which doesn't help in the really immediate term, but may prevent some of the same issues from impacting other folks moving forward. I think the initial goals we have on here are sufficient. I don't think we need to make it too much more complicated. I like the idea of looking at similar programs in other cities and looking at other service models that we could draw on to address the issues in our own community.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, are we ready to vote on whether these should be the 3 goals moving forward for this committee?
Actually, yeah, Tisha, there is something that I would like to add. I can look it up. I think I sent you the information about there having been a bill passed. I think it was in 2018 by the legislature here in Arizona mandating or stating sanctioned camping, sanctioned supported camping is allowable, and that as a housing, last year, I cannot believe that I'm saying this because a year ago I didn't agree with the concept of setting up housing camping. We're going to be seeing an influx of even more homelessness due to the defunding of there's a nonprofit that works with the refugees coming in. So busloads of people are going to be arriving without a place to stay. So I think if there's a way to put it, is there a way that adding in expediting sanctioned camping as part, as people are waiting for a house, shelter, does that tie in here at all?
I think we could, I definitely hear you, Mindy, and I think what we could do is including consideration of urgent policies, or including urgent interim solutions.
Thank you.
Okay, so on the first goal, Neto, can we have a comma after similar cities? And including emergency interim solutions.
Be implemented.
Emergency interim solutions be implemented.
So I would be more comfortable if the word solutions was changed to responses.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
And with that in mind, we did have, well, is that the close of discussion, or would we like to continue to entertain some additional goals?
I think these are.
Okay. Does anyone want to go ahead and move for a vote that these be our goals?
I move that these goals be accepted for that Housing First Subcommittee.
Any second?
I second, Ms. Wendy.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, I heard all three ayes. I also aye. So these will be our goals moving forward. And the next item on the agenda is preliminary discussion on top 2 cities to be contacted or researched. So I think, Mindy, given the urgency that we heard on the call today from Victoria, given the urgency that we're all seeing in our city and in our respective organizations, I do think that the focus might be best on emergency interim responses. Does anyone have any ideas as to what cities we can contact? You know, in particular, perhaps a commission similar to ours or some other housing department from another city where we might be able to look at encampments and services provided to encampments or other type of responses to address the urgency in our community.
I was kind of waiting for Mindy to answer since she has her hand up.
yes, I do have my hand up.
All right, go ahead.
Take it down. Yeah, I'm going back to my Google page that lists all of the different cities that are implementing or have implemented or tried the sanctioned camping.
Okay.
Programs. And it's a long list. So I think that perhaps we might want to consider digging in to look at who's doing what. So in our next meeting, we'll be able to identify that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. This is what we need to do and what we will do.
Are there, go ahead, Mark.
I'm wondering if we could work with staff on that, because I know staff does a lot of networking. And hopefully with other communities in the region and around the country. That was just a thought I have, if staff might be able to help us there.
Well, actually, I did meet with staff, and the request was that the commission be utilized to do some of that work they can't get to, and this would be one of them.
Okay.
So do you want to go ahead, Mindy, and put in the chat a few of those cities, and maybe between the 4 of us, we can call 1 or 2 or do a little bit of exploration, and then we can bring it back to the committee on April 30th.
So maybe rather than just putting it in the chat, could we get it emailed to us? Because once the meeting is closed, the chat's gone.
Right. I just Googled and
Okay.
then I Googled sanctioned camping for the homeless, and it came up. It came up with quite a few. I think Austin, Dallas, Denver. I think that it needs. I need time. I can't.
Okay. The only problem about the email, Wendy, is conducting some sort of conversation or meeting. You have to adhere to the open meeting law. So let's do this. Austin, we know, is a place that has been contacted by the city of Tucson in the past. So I think Austin is a pretty safe bet if someone wants to do that. If not, I can do that.
So where would we even start?
Bozeman is so. Bozeman, Montana. Where did we start, Wendy? It's just, I started on Google.
No, I mean, who do we contact? I mean, it's the city of Austin.
Like,
Where would we even
right.
figure out who to reach out to specifically? That's what I meant.
So first it would be a commission like ours. And then if there isn't a commission like ours, then the next thing would be a housing, community housing development department, subdivision, you know, and anyone that deals with individuals experiencing homelessness.
A public information officer for housing
Public information.
departments in various cities could help.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think Austin is easy enough. I'll go ahead and volunteer to contact Austin. Anything else you see there, Mindy?
Let me get back over. Bozeman, I know, I watched a video about Bozeman.
Bozeman?
Mhm,
Do you want to do that one, Mindy?
sure. And I would be happy to just keep Googling and contact as many as I can.
Okay. Great. Wendy or Mark, would you like to take one or two? I mean, we also don't have to agree on online. You can just find something if you get a moment and do a little bit of research and make a phone call, and we can just report back on April 30th. Does that
So
sound?
I don't want us to be duplicating our efforts, you know, more than
Oh,
one
sure.
person contacting more than one person contacting the same locality. So I think it
Okay.
might be better to just assign some randomly. I don't know. I'll take two if you just tell me who.
How about Portland
Okay.
and Denver?
Okay. I will do that.
Thank you, Wendy. Mark?
So I'm going to have to jump off the call here in a minute. I've got another thing coming up, but I was just looking at the National Alliance to End Homelessness's website. They've got a fairly robust, it looks like, stand against criminalization of homelessness initiative. And I was thinking I might give them a call and see who they're working with.
That's great. If you can do that, that would be fantastic. I noticed that too during our short research here. Pittsburgh is another possibility, Mindy.
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. Great. And then aside from Austin, Pittsburgh, Bozeman, Portland, Denver, and the national group, I'll go ahead and see what else I can find aside from Austin.
So I'm going to I will look at Bozeman and Pittsburgh and.
Great. Great. And
this
so
is,
I think that would cause for a really robust discussion next meeting.
this was one of the reasons why in the very beginning of our commission, I had requested that the city provide a list of city-owned properties or lots.
Right.
With hope, more of a hope of a tiny home village.
Right.
Which Salt Lake City is doing an incredible one. That I don't, you know, if we can, that's okay. I'm done. I get so emotional about this. I think
It's
part
emotional. It's fine. It's emotional.
Yeah.
It's emotional, of course. All right. So I think that's a great working agenda for the next report out for the next committee. Okay, next steps are the agenda items. Actually, Housing First update. Did you want to provide something, Neto? I don't think I see
I
Austin on call?
No, no one from Housing First is here, but let me share with you that this past Saturday, city staff, HCD staff held the third community meeting in the Amphi neighborhood to discuss the proposed Amphi Housing First Resource Center
Mm-hmm.
at the old Fire Station 8. I thought, and we thought we had a good meeting in the sense that community came out and they interacted with city staff. There were no strong objections as there were in the previous two meetings. I'm not going to speculate why why it was, but the concerns primarily still for many residents in the immediate area are the current issues of homelessness and perceived unsafe conditions. The community safety wellness group has been very active in the past month there in the neighborhood, working with neighbors, cleaning up the easement. That is a problem next door. So we're engaged with the community, and it looks as if late May or very early June, the proposal will go to the zoning examiner. It's a planned area development, a PAD, requires a rezoning. So it will go to the zoning examiner. Residents still have opportunity to voice concerns, objections, and it will then go to mayor and council later in the summer or early fall. The actual concept is still being worked out in terms of the operation. We still see about 30 congregate beds in the facility, and an X number of tiny homes in the back of the facility. And that would be the update right now for that.
Great, thank you, Neto.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for Neto? Go ahead, Mindy.
Thanks. Neto, is there any discussion, or could there be some discussion about sanctioned camping alongside the tiny homes?
And you're referring to sanctioned camping there at the Amphi Resource Center?
Correct.
No, there's no discussion of sanctioned camping there. Again, it would be some tiny homes in the back of the old fire station.
Right.
But sanctioned camping has not come up.
Not come up. Okay.
You know, Mindy, if you want to bring that up to the larger commission, you might just want to email Jim to place it on the agenda for the larger commission meeting.
Well, part of what's there's an agency. I'm sorry that I didn't catch the name of it. There's an agency, La Alita, that works with refugees.
That's probably Casa Alita.
Correct.
That lost a great deal of funding.
They got it back,
They did. Oh, good.
more or less. I mean, it's in the appropriations bill. It was signed Saturday or Sunday.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So that's helpful. That's helpful for me to know. It's a little bit of a worry off my shoulder.
Well, we have gone through all of the agenda items. The April 30th meeting at 4 p.m., we will include the information that we found from what's been assigned here today. We'll get a Housing First update. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the agenda?
Could I just clarify? So for the homework that we're doing, Wendy's doing Portland and Denver. And Tisha, you are doing Austin?
And I'll go ahead and identify one other
Okay.
city.
And Mark, you are contacting the national,
Alliance.
okay. And I understand about not duplicating. However, if I find there's more than, after I do my two, if there's others, I will get hold of them as well. It's okay.
Fantastic. Sounds like a great plan.
Good.
And Victoria, I see that you're still on the call. If you haven't received a call yet, you will. I'm going to get off of this and make sure that someone's been reached to contact you today. And with that, the next meeting is April 30th at 4 p.m. And the full commission meeting is April 4th at 4 p.m. With nothing further on the agenda, I adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Tisha.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Tish. I love the efficiency.
Absolutely. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good evening, everybody.